What's happening, everybody? It's your boy, the Low-Key Legend. How y'all doing? Today, we are back dropping episode 134 of the Stoner Tips series. Today, we are going to be talking about synthetic weed, aka K2 or spice. So, with that being said, if you guys did learn something from this video, smash the thumbs up button. Let's dive right on into this episode of Stoner Tips 134, fake weed. Alright, ultimately, that's what it is. I put synthetic marijuana, so it sounds a little more professional in a way, but this is what I want to talk about real quick. So I did have one incident of, and also this is one of you guys recommended this topic, so if you guys have any other topics you want me to hit on, drop them in the comment section. But there has been one incident where I accidentally smoked this substance, and let me tell you right now, man, this is not a good experience to just do, especially if you're buying this shit just to smoke for fun. That should never ever be the case. I do understand that K2 is a lot cheaper, but it is nothing like weed. All right, it's really not. Weed is obviously, it's grown in the ground and shit. K2 is used in a lot of different things than it would be to be smoked out of. Like, I was just reading some shit right here, and it says that it's used in liquid incense. All right, I don't know if you guys know what that is, but if you have a little machine, like I have this machine where I plug a little bottle, a small, like, it looks like e-liquid, like e-juice for vape pens. You plug it into the machine and it'll blow out smoke of a certain flavor. All right, so if you guys want to take that into consideration, that's ultimately what you're smoking. All right, and it's not meant to be inhaled at all. This is not a substance that should be played around with. Now, I do know people back in my high school days as well who went out and bought this shit on the dark web for 3 cents a gram, and would actually smoke this shit, sell it for $5 a gram, and make an insane profit off of it. But also, they would tell people that they're selling K2, and there was a small marketplace for smoking that shit. So I don't know if you guys heard, but a couple years ago, somebody actually died from smoking K2, and that was the first recorded case of somebody dying from smoking K2, I do believe. And it kind of blew up because it was an eye-opener for a lot of people who were smoking and selling K2 regularly, which was more frequent than it is now, probably 4 or 5 years ago, back in my high school days. So if you take a look at the statistics now, I'm sure not a lot of people are currently, messing around with K2 and shit, but if you fuck around with weed, odds are there's a slight chance you might run into K2 or spice, or just any combination of both of them. Now, I also took into consideration people can melt this shit down to wax and put it in wax pens. All right, so that's kind of where some fake dab cartridges can also come into play when they are loading these dab cartridges up with spice and K2. And there is a very specific way to kind of realize what you're smoking. First of all, K2, it's never gonna come in a actual nug form. All right, it's gonna come in shake. So if your weed is shaky, it has the possibility to be spice or K2. Now, this smell of weed or of K2, it's gonna be different than weed. All right, it's gonna be noticeably different. But for people who are kind of noobs to smoking weed, they really won't get it off the bat. This is gonna be something for experienced stoners to kind of point out and just take a sniff of. And if you smoke long enough, you will understand the smell of weed just by picking up different strains, smelling it, and your smell senses, I don't know if that's the word for it, will end up getting used to it and kind of knowing the actual smell of it. So if you try to smell some K2 and you haven't been smoking for a while, you probably won't know that it's K2. But if you're an experienced smoker, that's going to be something that you should point out to everybody instantly. It's not going to have really much of a funky smell from what I'm aware of, though, because I never really picked this shit up. All right, I lit it, and on the inhale, I instantly knew as soon as I pulled the slider for the bong and I was inhaling, I knew instantly that in my lungs, it didn't feel right. It didn't feel like weed, and I exhaled almost instantly. I exhaled super quick. I kind of scared myself. I didn't know what I was smoking, if they laced this weed, but it turns out it was actually fake weed, which is K2. So I didn't know that. There was a ripped bowl already, and I kind of just took it. It was all black, and I just hit it. I thought there was extra weed in there for me to smoke. I don't know, dude. I wanted to get high, so I fucking sparked the bong, and somebody before me had put K2 in there. Now, obviously, I wasn't in the right environment for that, but if you're surround yourself with a group of people who do not smoke K2 ever, this situation will never occur to you guys. So kudos to that. And a lot of people will not bring that around. So if you're with a group of stoners, do not have any fear that they picked up K2 or, you know, that they're smoking K2, because this is some shit that is not, I mean, it's a cheap alternative, yeah, but at the same time, it has no real same effects as weed. And that's in my opinion, but I feel like it works all around the board. This is not some shit that, you know, I don't think anybody's gonna smoke K2 and be like, yo, I really fuck with this shit, bro. This shit decent. I don't know if that's how it works, because I did not fuck with it the first time I smoked it, but I'm sure there are people who might. But this is kind of just a little heads up video of covering the subject of K2 and spice, how you can tell if it actually is K2 or spice. That's why I would recommend you guys to always pick up your weed in nug form, even if they're small little popcorn sized nugs, you know, even like just not shake, because shake can be mixed in with anything. It could be fake weed mixed in there, you know, a half ounce of regular weed and a half ounce of K2 or spice. That way, you know, it balances it so it looks normal. It's just weaker weed. I don't know how these drug dealers work nowadays and how they move. I really hope that nobody is doing this shit in 2019 in this day and age. This was some shit that kind of happened in like 2014, 2013, and it kind of declined a lot. I think once the kid died who smoked it, I think he OD'd on this shit, dude. So that's pretty fucked up. And you know that he knew that he was smoking it, so it's not like his shit was just laced randomly. He was smoking it for a while and just got way too fucking high off of it. So, or smoked way too much of it. I don't even know if you get high off of it. I felt weird. I didn't feel high though. I just felt like more or less sick in a way. So that was just my personal little experience with it. I'm glad I only had one experience with it. This is not some shit I did every day. And I also found out that it was K2 from a friend. So instantly I was not on board with that at all. And they, you know, kind of told me what it was, explained to me. And I was a sophomore in high school. So very, weird situation to be put in. But it was an experience I had to learn from, and I did learn that you cannot just grab random bongs and just rip it, because you don't know what the person before you was smoking on. So if you guys did learn something from this video, I hope I spread at least a little bit of knowledge. I know this really isn't giving you guys too much, because really I have really no experience to work with this shit. I wish I did in a way so I can tell you guys more about it, but other than that, man, I could really only give you guys the bare minimum of what I know. I don't want to talk out of my ass about shit that I have really no experience with, so I'm gonna have to keep this video on the shorter side and let you guys go with all that information, man. So take what you want with it, dude. Do some research on it if you really want to, but in the end, this shit is not safe at all. You could die from it. Stay away from it at all costs and just stick to them leafy greens, bro, and you will be good as gold. So with that being said, bro, this has been the Low-Key Legend. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Stoner Tips. This has been episode 134 of this series. Smash the like button. As I said before, it goes a super long way. Drop in the comment section if you guys do have any other topics you want me to hit on for next episode. Follow me on Instagram if you guys have not already, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Check out my videos, all that good shit, and I'm gonna catch you guys tomorrow for a brand new video. So y'all stay safe, stay savage, stay low-key. It's your boy. I'm out of here, guys. Adios.